cute. You got it cut?
But we're not being recorded, correct? No, I understand.
We're starting. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday, August 28th, 2025 regular governing board meeting. It is 6:16. Ms. Tucker, can you do a roll call?
Thank you. Governing Board members present. Governing Board President, Mr. Kyle Clayton. Governing Board Vice President, Ms. Lindsay Peterson. Governing Board members, Ms. Jenny Abbott-Barrety and Mr. Bill Adams.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to a moment of silence and meditation. And we will move to the Washington Elementary School District land acknowledgement.
Washington Elementary School District respectively acknowledges that our diverse community and schools are located on the ancestral lands of the Atham, Hohokam, Akamau Atham, Atham Pipash, since time immemorial. WESD is committed to work in partnership with the sovereign Native nations and indigenous communities to respect and accept responsibility of stewarding their important heritage and culture with our students and our community.
Thank you. And next, we'll move to the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Adams, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge of allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I have a motion for the adoption of the August 28th, 2025 regular meeting agenda?
So moved. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And can I have a motion for the approval of the August 14th, 2025 regular and executive session meeting minutes?
So move.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the motion passes. Current events and acknowledgements. Board members? Mr. Adams?
Thank you. Yesterday I had the opportunity to do a site visit with Sunburst and met with Principal Jennifer Dial and also Assistant Coach Alicia Simpson and also the front office manager and their staff. It was a wonderful, interesting, educational moment. What I learned in just an hour of time with the two of them truly grounded me, and I just can't thank them enough for taking the time to meet with me. And then today I went downtown to the Trust had a policy governance summit, and it was fascinating. And there was a legislative update with it, and also they discussed some of the policies and some of the rules and regulations that are coming our way. And I will get a copy of everything that was presented, and I'll be sure to pass it along to the administration and also to the board. I think the one thing I was happy to walk away with is just a lot of what our responsibilities are to some of this stuff, and there's some fascinating things that are coming down the pike, and we've discussed a lot of it already. But Jennifer McClellan, their lawyer, she was the facilitator, did a wonderful job along with her team. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Abbott-Barrety?
Thank you, Mr. President. I was able to attend the memorial service for Shelby Drusell, who was about to start her teaching, the next part of her teaching career over at Sunset. So I was able to attend that a little over a week ago, and all of the great things that were said about her, and also all of the wonderful pictures. I was saddened that we were not going to be able to enjoy the way that she was passionate about teaching kids. But it was a beautiful service. One of the things that was on the back of her memorial information was, it is quoted, "The day you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice." Thank you for all of the people who were able to support her family, and also for the way that Sunset has gathered around and rallied around the students and the community as well. Her mom actually was a student over in Sunset many years ago, so I'm glad that I could go on behalf of the board. Thank you.
Thank you, board members. I had the pleasure of attending curriculum night at my son's school. It was very informative, and a lot of families showed up, but I was really impressed that everything was presented in both English and Spanish through the whole night, making that information even more accessible to our families. So I appreciate the extra effort and just having that accessibility and inclusion in mind for our families. And I also just want to say how much I am enjoying our new app that we're using, Parent Square, for two-way communication in families. So if you're a parent in the district or guardian and haven't signed up, make sure you sign up. Because today I learned the art teacher sent out a post on Parent Square about an art contest that's being hosted by the Arizona Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents. Students can submit artwork that embraces their Mexican American, Latina heritage. So make sure to reach out to your student's art teacher and get more information, and I really hope one of our WSD students wins that contest. Which just brings up, in general, I'm so glad to see our students having access to these art contests and extra opportunities. Music, art, and theater and sports are so important in schools, and I love to see these additional opportunities happening district-wide. Thank you. Dr. Hightower.
Good evening, President Clayton, members of the governing board. Thank you so much for your support and for allowing me to join virtually today due to a family situation. And thank you for sharing, President Clayton, the opportunity for students to submit artwork. I did communicate with our lead for fine arts, and she's going to be emailing that information to the art teachers district-wide. So I'm very excited about that. And since our last governing board meeting, I have had the opportunity to visit 13 additional school sites and visit nearly all classrooms and cafeterias. I continue to be thoroughly impressed with the work and strategy that our schools take in planning differentiated lessons that are engaging for our students, ranging from the very gifted to students that have special needs. Additionally, seeing our social workers in action, seeing the resource centers that we have across the district is there to support all students and the families is truly, truly inspiring. And again, I continue to share, and I will continue to do it in every avenue, that the teaching, the learning, the leading that's happening in our Washington Elementary School District is top notch, and I'm just so grateful to work alongside a team of very talented staff. Thank you so much, President Crane.
Thank you so much. Next, we'll move to item H, public participation. Ms. Tucker?
We do not have any requests for public participation.
All right, moving on to item I, the approval of the consent agenda. Do members have any items they wish to pull? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the consent agenda passes. Next, we'll move to item 3A, action discussion items. The 24-25 interest-based negotiation team recommendations for one-time retention and longevity stipends. Dr. Stewart?
Governing Board President, members of the Governing Board, come before you to present the recommendation from the IBN team, reference the stipend recommendations, but I'm going to call an audible if I can. There are several members, actually most of the members of the audience tonight are members of the IBN team. If anyone would like to come up, you don't have to speak. Carla, no talking, you don't have to say anything. So basically everybody on this side of the room and back participated in all of our recommendations. So the interest-based negotiation, or IBN team, obviously we've gone through this, you guys are familiar with it, but it's a collaborative forum where we work to address district-wide issues and for employment, and all members are represented. We talk about the story, the interest, and we evaluate, and then try to come with a consensus that everyone is comfortable with. This year, the governing board had several areas of interest that they wanted us to address, and I think coming before you tonight, we have met that. The recommendation for the 24-25, or from the 24-25 IBN team, is recommending the following one-time retention stipend and longevity stipends for the 25-26 school year without using any, sorry about that, operations, maintenance and operations funds due to declining enrollment. The flat stipend would be basically 1 to 9 employees that have been here for 1 to 9 years will get a $200 flat stipend, obviously before taxes and all those good things. And then everyone 10 years and over would get a $300 stipend. And then to address the longevity side, 1 to 4 years would get a $30 per year stipend. 5 to 9 would be 40, and 10 plus would be 60. An example, an employee with 6 years of service at a full 1.0 FTE would receive $440 before standard deductions. So that's the flat stipend of $200 plus the $240 for the 6 years of service at $40 per year. Another example, an employee with 19 years of service would get $1,440. It's the $300 stipend plus the $1,140 for the 19 years of service at $60 per year. Eligibility, we're keeping that same as we've had past years. The employee must be a current employee who was hired or in the process of being hired on March 31st, 2025. The stipend in of itself will not exceed a 1.0 FTE because it is based on the FTE. The longevity stipends are prorated based on FTE. So if you're 0.5, you'd get 50%. A 1.0, you'd get the full amount. And then they must be employed through the pay cycle in which the stipend is to be paid. Oh, we go back one. So I have been working with Danny. Typically when we bring these before you, it's in the spring, and it's easy to plug and play into what off-cycle pay period isn't being used by something else. So I'll be working with Danny. We're looking at between pay period 6 and pay period 7, but we haven't verified that yet. But depending upon your approval tonight, we will get something out, find something, and then get an email out to all staff tomorrow. And thank you.
Thank you. Board members, any questions, comments?
Thank you. Thank you so much, IBN, for coming back together to work on this. And it would be great to be able to give so much more money, but this is wonderful. I am very grateful to all of you who've taken the time to do this, especially my kid's bus driver right over there who was great at karaoke. Apparently he still remembers my kids. I don't know if it's because they were naughty or what, but anyway, so thank you. And I really appreciate your hard work. And so thanks again.
Ms. Peterson?
Thank you. I don't want to negate the work that was done going into this. I'm frustrated that it took us so long to get here, and that the board had to literally push to get this done. I still want to recognize that our staff took a 5 to 10% pay cut this year. I just want to make sure that the public understands that because of the way the ESSER dollars had been used for bonuses and stipends and retention and things like that, when we're going into this year, even if everyone got a 2% raise, which they did, they're still looking at a year-over-year pay cut from previous years. And so it's not enough, in my opinion. And I wish that we could do more, or that we did do more. I wish that we did do more, because nothing is cheaper, and everyone in our district took a pay hit. And that's not unique to our district. Everyone in education that was living under a fully funded education system with ESSER dollars took pay cuts this year. So thank you for the work. Thank you for IBN. I know you had to come back multiple times. I know that some of you probably don't like me very much right now, but I know this is good work. I know it's important work, and I just hope that we can carry forward this spirit of finding the money. It was found, and not even in the places that we thought it would be found, and making sure that we take care of our employees, because we need them. We can't do this without them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Adams?
Thank you. I too want to thank everybody involved. I agree with what was said in regards to the money. We would love to give our employees much greater opportunity, more money. The things that concern me is, from what I can see, you're using the Medicare funds, right, Danny? And what's that fund called? Matt?
Mr. President, members of the board, it's MIPS Medicaid, is what it's called.
And it's a reimbursement, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. And then it's a Prop 3 is the other fund that you're coming?
Prop 301, or also known as Classroom Site Fund.
Thank you. And so those funds are designed for salaries and stipends and that whole thing. So thank you for the creativeness to find those dollars there. Because the reality is we're down 750 students, I believe, or close that number, around there. And if I've calculated it out right, it's about $5.2 million. And I believe that this stipend is going to cost us $1.9 million. Am I close? Okay.
That's what we've estimated, yes, sir.
Estimated. So we have but 5 responsibilities at this board, and one of them is the fiscal responsibility. So trying to find these dollars, when we have a loss of $5.2 million, and now we're spending another $1.9 million. Anybody can take a look at that and go like, well, what are you doing? But because of your creativity and how you found these dollars, very, very, very much appreciated. Because we need to do something after, as has been mentioned, the fiasco of the last 7-8 months since I've been on the board in regards to these stipends. So I'm glad we're coming with something. The other thing that I wanted to talk about are, and my fellow board members have heard me, and I'm public about it, in regards to the IBN process. And that is, and I've heard from a number of people that the whole committee may not have been involved with this decision making. And I'm not, again, it's hearsay in some of the messages that I'm hearing. That interest-based negotiation process is important to me as a school board member, because there's a bucket of money. It's all we get. We don't generate revenue. It's given to us by our legislators, by the state, and it's passed on, and we hand it over to the interest-based negotiation committee to decide what do you wish to do with the dollars that you have allocated for you. So as a board member, once you all have decided what you want to do with it, it's easy for me to raise my hand and approve something, because I am a visitor, and this is your livelihood. So, but in this scenario, I'm not sure if everybody was involved with the process. I'm not sure that the way the process works is that the representatives that attend those meetings, they in turn take that information and they pass it along to their stakeholders. So if you're a bus driver and you attend that meeting, then you're going to take the information that's before you and you're going to pass it along to your fellow bus drivers. And that gives them an opportunity to come back and say, yay, nay, hey, we like it, no, we don't like it, we like the direction you're going. But at least there's communication, dialogue going between the employees and the representatives. And it's my understanding that I don't think that that happened. So that concerns me. And then also, not that I don't think everybody that was on the committee wasn't invited into the last conversation. So that concerns me. And I just hope and pray that moving forward, that the process, the way it's designed, is done properly, and that that there's involvement, there's input, and there's a lot more buy-in to all the things that are happening right now. And I thank you for allowing me to bring this up. I'm very public about my feelings towards IBN, and I believe in this system. It just has to be done properly. And I'll get off my soapbox now, but to those that participated in that committee, I thank you. I thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. What is the date of that sixth or seventh pay period that you're talking about?
Yeah. Mr. President, members of the board, it'll be right towards the end of September.
Okay.
I don't have the pay schedule in front of me. I apologize, but
it was the Salary and Compensation Committee that came up with this recommendation, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did they take into account our declining enrollment?
We did discuss all of the factors. I think at the time we didn't have the most up-to-date numbers, but we did let them know that our numbers were down.
Okay. And was the potential, or just in general, the financial impact of the declining enrollment taken into account to consider in their final, what they are bringing forward today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Is there a motion on this item? I'll make a motion the governing board approve the 2024-2025 interest-based negotiations team recommendation of a one-time retention and longevity stipend as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 3 in favor, 1 opposed. The motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to item 4A, information and discussion item of next steps for permanent superintendent search. Tonight, I just wanted to have a discussion about the process, scope, and timeline for the permanent superintendent search. There are organizations that can conduct this search for us, and we just need to have a conversation and figure out kind of the scope. Do we want to go nationally, statewide, another option? What's the timeline we're looking for, the process we'd like to see? So I just would like to get an idea from members on those items. Any comments or questions? Ms. Peterson.
I was just saying, I've never done this before, but I think there is one person on the board who has a little bit of experience in this field. I don't know if you wanted to weigh in.
Mr. Adams would be that person.
Thank you. There are a lot of fine companies that are out there that do offer these services. And I think my recommendation would be to do an RFQ. Danny, is it an RFQ? Is that the right way to put it? Where we're just looking for information? RFI? What am I looking at? What's the right terminology?
Mr. President, members of the board, RFQ.
RFQ, thank you. Because it's RFP. You're right, thank you. So we can go out there, we can get some information we can put it out to the public and let them come and present, what they can do for how much. I've already heard on the streets that especially if you go nationally, it's between 50 and 100,000. So it can be pretty pricey. The local we have some of the ABCs, the ASAA, ASBA. They also, and there's a couple of others that are out there that are local that have the capability to do it, and they help a lot of districts. But I think if we just go out and find out who's going to be interested in helping us and what their capabilities are, then we can decipher, what we wish to do. So that, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I think Danny wanted to say something.
When you're finished, sir.
Am I on track, Danny? I hope I'm on track. Yeah, so my biggest concern has always been, and also when you start talking national, and again, this is one individual's opinion. So we've had some success with districts that have gone national and brought others in from out of state. But I believe culturally, and again, it's just my opinion, that we do better with in-state. You see many more districts here in the state be successful with candidates from within the state that have come through our system. And I'm just giving you information, so nothing more, nothing less. And we do have some successful soups that have come from out of state, but then we have some that come and they last a couple weeks and then off they go. So, and I'm hoping and praying that that situation doesn't happen with us. But I also believe in this board, and I think that we're going to find a fine candidate and eventually a good superintendent. I hope I'm helping. So,
Thank you. Do you have anything? Oh, Mr. O'Brien.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. President, members of the board, as Member Adams mentioned, there are some associations within the state that do it. There are some other local firms that do it. After this, what I'd like to tell you is an RFQ process will take a while. It could take 6 to 8 weeks. After the decision tonight, if it's still to go to do a search, let me look to see if some of those firms are on a consortium. That means the RFQ has already been done, so it'll go slightly faster, and I can work with the procurement department and then Ms. Tucker to get that information out to the board members if they would like me to.
Thank you. That would be great. Ms. Abibardi?
Thank you, President Clayton. So I have a brother who teaches in Scottsdale, another brother who teaches in Deer Valley, and my sister-in-law is a principal in Peoria. And they've all had different superintendents a lot lately. And so I don't know what their process was to find their superintendents that they had, but it sounds like, Mr. O'Brien, that the RFQ would be people that that are in the state, right? You said consortium, like it would go faster, or do we have people in the rest of the country that are on the RFQ thing?
Mr. President, members of the board, so an RFQ would be the longer process.
Oh, okay.
And with that, anybody can submit who believes they're qualified. If I look at the consortiums, and there's a consortium out there for superintendent searches, which I believe there is, but I need to look because I haven't looked for a while. It could be a local firm. It could be an out-of-state firm. Everybody has the right, because the consortium really is just a RFQ that's just already done. So it could be a national, but the board could then look at those companies and work through a process to try to select the one that they believe is best fit.
Okay, so there could be a local company that works with out-of-state. Oh, okay. I didn't understand that to be the case. So I don't know if we're looking for like 3 to 5 that would be a part of the 6 to 8 weeks, but one or two may be not because they're already on. Is that what you're asking, President Clayton? What are we asking for this evening?
Yeah, we're just having a conversation about like how, as Mr. Adams pointed out, if we go national, it's a more longer process, higher costs. If we go more local, it's maybe a little faster, a little less, just to have an idea of where the board is wanting to look and the timeline they would like to see.
So if we had a local firm that looks nationally, that could go faster, right? But it may cost more, but they're a firm that's in Arizona, but they go and they find people nationally. So we don't have to use a firm that is in, say, New York, necessarily. If we could use one that's here, but they could look nationally for a superintendent nationally, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Mr. President, members of the board, it is, as Mr. President is stating, it's all based off your criteria. If you pick a local firm and go national, it could take just as long as if you pick a national firm and go national, and it could be just as expensive. From previous districts that I've worked in and have been through this, it's all about the marketing, what your criteria is, what you're looking for, and that will dictate. You can have a lot of criteria look local, and it still take a long time. So it's just the process you want to go through. You're going to have public meetings, or you're going to have staff meetings, or so it's just the process that you build. In any company that we pick, whether it's local or national, we'll come in with the board, probably do a study session, work through those, and then let you know what the time frame is.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Adams.
The reality is we should just, Danny can go ahead, because he's talking about co-ops, and the way, just to simplify how a co-op works, one GPA, may I use a vendor? Can I use, no, not, okay, a vendor goes out and they'll do a solicitation for a school district for recruitment services, and they'll do all the work, and then they'll come up with anywhere from 5 to 7 vendors that have been approved, and they go on a list. So Danny can take a look at those, and he can present them to us. And some of them will be local, some of them will be national. They bidded on it. It's a formal RFP situation. So that'll simplify our world, obviously. It's not that we want to be simple. We want to decide the right quality firm to represent us. But with all that being said, in theory right now, I think Dr. Hightower, not calling her High Power, this is good. Good. She's not here. I know she can hear us. She's on for, through June of next year, correct? Now, obviously, if we were to get a soup earlier than that, hopefully, and again, this is all hypothetical. She may want to stay. She may wish to stay on and help guide and train that person, or whatever happens. But we have until June of next year. So even if Danny decided to, hey, I'm going to put this out for the world, and it takes 6 to 8 weeks because the process is longer, we still have time. So that's one thing to think about. The other, and then the other process, Ms. Tucker or Danny or Dr. Stewart, maybe somebody can come up with a critical path or what the lead times normally are, and present it to the board to say these are normally what it looks like, because last time I went through it was with the previous superintendent, and I'm trying to think, I can remember going through the interviews, I can remember, how we all did it and in the negotiation process. But I think that if we looked at other districts, or, what the process is actually is, a timeline, and present that to the board, that would give us a better foundation to work off of. The 6 weeks to go find a firm, I'm okay with that, because we still have a lot of time. And we do want to find a company that's, I hate to discuss economics, but we want to find a quality firm that's going to, we're the largest elementary school district. It's going to, we're going to have to find somebody that's going to be with us for a long, long time and part of our family. So, thank you.
Ms. Peterson?
Yeah, I really appreciate that insight, Mr. Adams. I think for me, I have no idea what the process is going to look like. So I really think we are in a great position to be able to make this decision, with almost a year's lead time. And so my understanding now is that step one is for Danny to go out and find some vendors that are willing to work with us, whether that's RFQ, RFP, or whatever the request, whatever we're requesting for, just to start there. And then I really do love the idea of kind of someone, I don't know who that person is, coming to us and saying, this is what this process is going to look like. We're going to start with, once we hire a company, which is step one, correct? Step one is to hire a company. And we can't do this by ourselves. we need to hire someone to come and help and support us. It's an investment in the future of this district and finding the right candidate. So once we hire someone, then I would be very interested in having, not necessarily people who hire, somebody who knows more than me, to say, step one is to describe our ideal candidate or whatever. And this is the timeline for that. And then we're going to move into, the search. And I assume the company they're like headhunters. They're going out and searching for the right candidate and looking all over based on our criteria and advertising that we're looking and all those things. So it's just a big marketing and connections and networking campaign with someone who has a Rolodex. Not Rolodex. Yeah, Rolodex is the right word. Bigger than mine.
And just
Mr. Adams?
Yeah.
Just to pick back, these firms are consultants.
Mm-hmm.
So they will come in and they will literally meet exactly what you said. They're going to find out, what our desires are, what our wishes are, how do we want to proceed. And they'll ask those fact-finding questions, which will direct them on how they're to proceed. And everything you said about their Rolodex, their stable of who they have. And we have some great candidates in the state, some young people that are coming up the pipeline. So, but again, that's just my opinion. So, just planning to see, but there's some talent within our state.
So do we need an action item to move forward on, approving that, or is that just?
Right now, it's just information discussion to know kind of where you guys were at and what
Okay.
the board as a whole wants, and then we can move forward at the next meeting with an action.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me.
Mr. Adams?
So between now and then, can administration put together that timeline? Fair. Thank you, guys.
That was a nod, yes, they can. And then I would like us just to be as price conscious as possible. I know it is an investment in the future of the district, but I hope that we keep that in mind. And I would also like to see in the process just as much community input as we can to hear from our staff on, as a board, maybe we hone down on the list of people that are interested on what meets our criteria, but then have a really robust process where our internal community of staff and teachers, but also externally with forums or community meetings, and have that be a part of the process. And just as far as timeline, I would like to have kind of what Mr. Adams was saying is the overlap. We have Dr. Hightower until June 31st of 2026, but some have the process completed where that candidate could have a month or so. I don't know if 3 months is too much, but a time frame to where they're able to shadow and kind of get to know the WSD community and work in, if Ms. Hightower is willing to shadow her and just see and get used to what's happening here in Washington. Dr. Stewart.
Mr. President, members of the board, some things to think about, like as you're kind of going through the process, is kind of what you're saying, but you want to work backwards.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at April, then you're going to want to work backwards from April to make that timeline. Other things you're going to want to have in mind or think about, some, depending on who you talk to, they call it maybe like, they used to have the profile of a graduate. So thinking the similar thing of the profile of a superintendent. What qualities and traits and things do you want to see? What will make him or her successful in the Washington Elementary School District? You're also going to want to talk about, do you want to go out to the public? And, so, similar to that you did with the SOFG and talk and hear from. And then you're going to want to see who are they. Is that something that you guys want to do? Is that something that you want the consultant to do? So there are a lot of things that you're going to want to consider, and just kind of start thinking about that now, because that'll help the process as you move forward.
Thank you. Mr. Adams?
Thank you. And these are all points. The consultant, once we decide who they're going to do, it is common practice, at least with districts that I've been involved with, that you'll pick three. When we come down with three candidates, you're going to have forums, when you invite the public to come in, and the teachers will be involved, and everybody gets a chance to hear the three of them speak. That's some of the things that have happened in the past. I wouldn't mind, Dr. Stewart, that was fascinating, what we're looking for a superintendent. If there is a boilerplate that's out there between now and next week on what, we could look at statute and see what superintendents do. But if somebody can come up with a definition for what for a foundation for what a superintendent should look like, that's something that we can build on. Okay, that sounds good. We'd like to see this. We'd like to say that. So that would be helpful. But everything that's been discussed here and all the recommendations, these are things that we will do. I can assure you, you'll want to do that. And with the proper consultant, they'll make those recommendations also.
Just a question, would that consultant help us with that profile of a superintendent, or would we do that on our own?
As I think it was either Danny or Dr. Stewart mentioned, the consultants will come in, they're going to know everything about this. This is not their first rodeo, so they're going to sit there and say, okay, let's sit down and we'll talk about, what are you looking for? And it'll probably done during a study session. You know how I feel about those. But you can see that's happening. They'll sit down. This is normally what a superintendent does. They're going to have it, and then we'll build upon it. And we may throw a lot of things up against the wall, and then narrow it down to what we believe is the perfect individual for our family. So.
Excellent. Any other items? All right. Now with that, we will move on to item 5A, request for future report or agenda items. Board members? Hearing none, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:57.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the meeting adjourns. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Dr. Highpower, if you're still there, thank you.